My name is Felicity Beckett and I am the manager of a local cinema.
Hi, I'm Michael. I'm a body therapist. I live in Brighton.
So here I am at work, and it's a majesty and there is a spirituality here which I absolutely love.
It's important to look at our emotional, spiritual dimension of our life because it improves the quality of our lives.
Everybody lives in a world of fear and tension and stress, and this is not how we're supposed to live.
The whole of the media are training us and conditioning us and hypnotising us to be in a state of fear.
We have not been taught or given the tools essential to living a life of inner peace.
Love, creativity, connection.
Something telling me that everything that is in my life at the moment is perfect for getting me on this next road. I want to do a show about what's incredibly important to me, which is this spiritual revolution that is absolutely so happening. And whilst I want to grasp what's happening to me...
Why do you feel that there's a spiritual revolution happening, Flick?
Oh, because it's just coming at me at all angles. I mean, it might actually just be my own spiritual revolution, but I keep meeting people like you that are hungry for it.
Ah.
Do you know what I mean?
I know exactly what you mean.
And everybody I seem to meet, if I talk to them about this, they seem to go, yes, that's exactly what I agree. And I'm listening to Eckhart Tolle, and I'm, you know, to be honest, I don't know an awful lot about the individual people. It's the message, you know. So I'm being really a la carte about this spiritual revolution kind of thing, and it's I can feel the rumbles, or I've felt the rumbles of it in my life since I was like 17, you know. And I remember when my granddad died, and I'd been raised a Catholic, but it just meant nothing to me. And my grandmother, who'd been married to him for 50 years, was going to be on her own for the first night in 50 years. And I said to her, you know, do you want me to stay the night with you? And she was like, oh, no, I'm fine. And I was like, what? And she said, well, God's with me. I just remember thinking, that was a very genuine spiritual response, a very grounded response, and I've been looking for that forever.
Yeah, I think that's it. It's the grounded thing as well, isn't it? And
Yeah.
It's fine being up here and kind of like going, oh, yeah, but the grounded thing.
Yeah.
And I think with all these teachers like Eckhart Tolle, Abraham Hicks, even Bashar, there is something that I found that is quite grounding. It seems to be, from what I can see, is... practical spirituality.
Yes.
That even if you don't kind of believe where these teachers are coming from in their spirituality, it seems to be such good psychological and emotional advice that if you apply it, it improves the quality of your life.
Yes.
And you can take the spiritual side of their message if you want.
Yes.
But if you don't want, you can use the psychological and emotional stuff, and it improves your life.
Exactly.
It seems, really, doesn't it?
Exactly. And it's living without fear, I think, as well, which is such a beautiful thing, which I definitely saw in my grandmother's face that day. In fact, she was, and in my father's face when he was dying. I said to him, you know, are you afraid? And he was like, no. You know, and he was genuinely excited.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
like big wow.
So who have you been listening to that's inspired you?
Oh gosh, I mean, every step of the way, I find that there's somebody perfect that I need to hear in that moment, you know. And, you know, it definitely started with Eckhart Tolle, I think, was the first time I started reading something and thinking, this is really opening my heart and my mind. And I think that listening to Matt Kahn, he has... Even though I've heard this message a gazillion times, it's a discipline, it's a practice, you must do it. Just listening to him the last couple of days, I've just gone, oh, it's a discipline, it's a practice, I must do it. You know? And so I think it would be a really great idea for us to then go off and practice it with a view to coming back and meeting and sharing with the world how our practice is going. You know, depending on.
So what's his practice? You were saying, because I know a little bit about Matt Kahn. Well, I know Eckhart Tolle. Not that I know him well, but he is one of the my teachers, I would say,
Yes.
that gives me an anchor to life, as well as Bashar and Abraham Hicks. They're the ones that have actually, and some other stuff like Joseph Murphy, Florence Scovel Shinn, Wallace Wattle. There's loads of people from like the mid 20th century, the late 19th century, going back.
Oh, yeah.
That had similar.
Emmett Fox is another one that. I think he came shortly after Eckhart Tolle for me and blew my mind with Golden Key and things like that.
I haven't heard that.
That's really great. Yeah.
Oh, look at that.
But again, say all the same thing. As you think, so it shall be. You know, and Bashar definitely just. When I was ready, I could hear Bashar because his message is quite far out, but actually it's not. Really.
But it's not. Yeah, it's not far out. That's what I was saying earlier.
He's quite far out. Yeah,
he's far out.
Yeah,
and again, it's like kind of you have the choice. If you know Bashar or if you don't, that he's supposed to be a reincarnation of his future self from an alien planet.
Yes.
Now that is pretty far out.
Yeah.
So you can either go with that. I mean, if you believe in UFOs and extraterrestrials or not, go with it. And if you don't, then you don't have to take that on board.
Yes.
His message is the same.
Yes.
What you think translates into your belief. Your belief system becomes the way you act in the world. The way you act in the world is what you get back in the world.
Yes.
So if you're going to go out and sort of poke people in the eye, expect to get poked back in the eye.
Yes.
Really.
Or you don't quite know how it will reverse back on you, but it will.
Yeah.
It is definitely the energy that you put out is the energy that you get back.
Well, that's Buddhist karma, isn't it?
Yeah.
It really is the whole thing of the Buddhist karma.
Yeah, definitely.
Really. So what did you get from Bashar?
How
has it improved your life from before you took his philosophy to you learning his philosophy and then it becoming a discipline and a practice and doing?
Yeah. Well, that's the other thing. I haven't quite got the discipline or the practice going yet, but I've got the excitement,
which is great.
Which is definitely I'm so excited.
Yeah,
I mean,
lovely.
What I love about Bashar and Daryl Anchor, isn't it? Is the channel. Daryl Anchor's the human being that's channeling Bashar, isn't he? And I love his humility and his humour. And, the fact that he will readily admit that this might sound crazy to a lot of people. But I know when someone's speaking to me and it goes into my heart. There's a truth. I cannot explain it.
That's an interesting one, though, the whole truth thing, because there are spiritual philosophies where people say, it's truth. I feel it in my heart. And I feel that it doesn't resonate with my heart or spirit, and it's not a truth. It feels like it's a twisting of the truth for certain agendas.
Yes.
So to me, it's always a tricky one when people. I understand what you're saying, and I agree with you.
Yeah.
But it's kind of how to say it's in my heart. It's the truth. It
I know what you mean.
It doesn't feel practical enough for me.
Yes.
To sort of say, try this philosophy because if you do A, B, and C, you'll have D, E, and F.
Yes,
do you understand what I'm saying?
Yes,
really?
That's much.
I'm
more...
with you, and I feel it in my heart when I listen to Bashar and Urquhart and Abraham Hicks and Emmett Fox and all the others and Wallace Wattle, and the truths do seem to cross over.
Yes.
And there's certain things you go, well, I read that over there, and that corresponds with this here, and Bashar said this, and Abraham Hicks said that, and they all seem to say the same thing.
Yeah.
Which is what you think, what you feel becomes the energy you put out, and
Exactly.
But also there's that, isn't there? The whole concept of a vibrational universe, that we are vibrations. It's an old concept, but it is this new awakening that seems to be coming, that people are beginning to understand that the whole universe is vibration, that this table, this chair is
my beautiful chair, my
love beautiful
chair
is vibration. This beautiful bagpuss is vibration.
Yes.
I'm vibration, you're vibration, and depend on your emotional state. If you're excited, it seems to be a high vibration, and if you're depressed and down, that's a very solid low vibration, isn't it? And the Bashars and the Urquharts and all that seem to guide people to a higher vibration.
And I feel that's what I feel in my heart.
Right.
So Bashar could almost be sitting there going, but it's just something about his energy, and his vibration that makes me just sing,
And what about Abraham Hicks? Have you watched?
Yeah, and the same with her. She whips me up, but then Hitler used to whip people up, so I don't know if I'm just a complete performing seal for these people, and do let me know.
I think the difference there between the two examples you've just picked is that with the Bashars and the Abrahams and the Urquharts and the Emmett Foxes about increasing your vibration, it improves the quality of your life.
It does.
It has improved the quality of my relationships.
Yes.
It's improved the quality with my relationship with myself.
Yes.
And I think ultimately, the new spirituality that we need to, even if you don't believe in spirituality of a higher consciousness or a creator or God or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I was talking to James, it's about our mental and emotional well-being.
Yes.
The biggest challenge that we seem to face in the 21st century is our mental and emotional well-being.
Absolutely.
And there's a lot of... Ruby Wax says it's 1 in 4. It's not just her, she got it from...
Sure.
1 in 4 people are suffering have mental health problems.
Yeah.
I think it's more. I think it's probably 2 out of 4, maybe 3 out of 4, really.
Yeah.
Everyone's on that scale.
Yeah.
And it's easy to go spiralling down into depression and suicide and da-da-da-da-da. And when I listen to the Bashars and the Abrahams... I'm getting excited, picking up on you.
Yeah.
I know it improves the quality of my life. It guides me to a much more productive, creative way of being.
Yes.
With myself. And when I'm alone with my thoughts and sitting with my herb tea or, whatever, there's always this choice between going down the spiralling down path or spiralling up path.
Yeah.
And that fits in for me with Dr. Joe Dispenza and Rick Hansen.
Yes, yeah.
Now these are both scientist guys.
Yeah.
Who one's a chiropractor and one is a neurosurgeon, neuroscientist. Yeah. And they're both quite spiritual people, and they've put into this what you're talking about in a very practical way, sort of saying how our neurons fire and how our neurological system fires off.
There's a neurons that fire together. Yeah.
So if all the time you're going, life is crap, I'm crap, everything's crap, that's the neurons that are firing.
Yeah.
The chemical reactions between the synapses, and then that becomes so ingrained in your physical.
Yes.
If you can say physical, because we're talking about vibration.
Yeah.
That's why you have to do your meditations and your affirmations and your breathing, and you're constantly doing it, so you rewire your neurology and your endocrine system into a new state of being.
Yes.
And this is part of the reason why I kind of trust with my heart about the stuff we're talking about, because it seems to be backed up with hard science now in the 21st century.
Absolutely, and with that science, which I found very reassuring about Dr. Joe
Dispenza.
I
love it.
He was saying that because we've programmed ourselves on such a subatomic level that it doesn't change overnight. So what I've often found is that this journey's been for like the last 10 years, and I've got very disappointed. And and I've got, it's all rubbish, but actually I haven't given myself the chance to realise that if you're changing subatomically, that's gonna take a while.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. And he was saying, and your body will scream out for the negativity that it's conditioned to take.
Well, I think it's something to hold that thought. I didn't interrupt you. I think it's something to do with the fact that we're trained into the negativity through newspapers and news and that for whatever agenda they have, partly control, and we become addicted.
Yes,
we're all addicted to all sorts of things all the time, aren't we? I love herb teas and I smoke, cigarettes. So I'm addicted to nicotine. And trying to get off it. And I think it's the same with our emotional states of being. We become addicted to feeling sorry for ourselves, feeling depressed, feeling disappointed. Yeah. And that, what you're saying about the body screaming, the body will scream for why are you being happy and excited?
Yes, I don't know this, I don't understand it, and it's frightening.
And it's frightening.
Yeah.
Because it's stepping into the unknown.
Yeah.
And as Urquhart talks about, what I really found helpful when he says you have to make peace with uncertainty.
Absolutely. And so it can feel like and Matt Kahn says this as well, like that if you're saying to yourself, I love you, I love myself, it just can feel so fake and so phony, and immediately you want to give up.
Yeah, but that's the neurons, because the neurons are not used to it.
Yeah. So you just keep going, and I think we started the conversation before the cameras were rolling about my problem with the word love.
Oh yeah.
And I've always hated it. I've always hated saying I love you to anybody, and so I never have. If someone says I love you, and oh God, I love you too, just so it can't quite get the words out, kind of thing. And as I've been practicing it, I'm absolutely fine with it now.
Yeah.
So now I've got to practice it with, and I just want to give myself the opportunity to do it to myself, to do it to everything in life.
Do you know Louise L. Hay?
Yes, yeah.
She was one of my first teachers, Louise L. Hay, You Can Heal Your Life. And I still use her to this day, and I discovered it in the 80s, and that's 30 years ago. And one of her philosophy, her thread of her philosophy is that about loving and approving of yourself, and to look in the mirror and say, I love and approve of myself, I love and approve of you. And that it is hard because we get trained not to say that or to think like that, because people get confused with, I think people get confused with the idea of, if you're saying you'll love yourself, that you're being conceited and arrogant. And actually that comes from a place of fear. If you love yourself, you drink water, you eat the right food, you sleep, you're with good people, you work on your psychology and emotional and spiritual side. So that's kind of loving yourself, isn't it really?
Exactly.
So it's what you would say to a friend.
Yeah.
You know, have some water, have some rest, have a wash.
Quite literally, yeah. I mean,
or whatever it happens to be.
Yeah,
so why can't we say it to ourselves?
That's
my point.
Yeah.
Because it's hard. Because I think it's hard because of that neurological programming.
I think so too.
The endocrine system.
Yes.
So what's hard about saying I love you? Is it the vulnerability?
I think so. It's the vulnerability and, completely the vulnerability and I think not believing that I'm lovable, that I'm capable of loving. There's lots of things,
Have you heard of EFT?
No.
It's a thing I love at the moment.
Okay.
Emotional freedom technique. Sort of fits in with the neurology side.
Okay.
You're supposed to work on. Again, you can approach this from like quite a few different ways.
Yeah.
It's tapping. You tap on specific points.
Yes, I have heard of this, yeah.
Now, some people say that it's to do with meridians, energy channels through the body. And
Yeah.
if we're all vibration, that kind of fits in.
Yeah.
And there was certainly, I spoke to an acupuncturist who I work with, and I was talking about the different points, and she was saying, that's interesting because it fits in with, I can't remember which they are now, but the heart, the endocrine system, the adrenal gland, and what's not.
Okay.
So, because of this DNA, what did you say? Cellular programming.
Yeah.
It's in our cells. It's locked in our cells.
Yeah.
So if you do the tapping about letting go, you change that vibration.
Yeah.
So it could be things like you could be saying, I let go of the fear of saying I love you. It's easy for me to say I love you to myself and to everybody.
Yeah.
I release all the fear and anxiety, and you sort of go through different rounds.
Wow.
And you do that, and I've found what it does. It takes away the emotional charge from certain situations in your past, so that you can look at your past experience and not have an emotional response.
Yeah. Because as much as we want to sort of rise above it, and that's all over, it never is. It's so someone can just tap into that part of me in a millisecond, and it's extraordinarily powerful. So there you are on that vibration of fear and self-loathing, low self-esteem. So when you go through different topics in your life and you kind of say, I release it, I let go of the self-loathing, low self-esteem, I am worthy, I am deserved, my body just changes, just doing a demonstration here. Then you can put in the new programming, is I'm a vibrational being, I am at one with God, I am at one with the spirit, or I am at one with the universe, whatever that happens, whatever for you. Everything works out well for me, I'm connected to all people and all creation. And then that, I found, changes the vibration. So it's about letting go. And then putting in the new. Yes, very powerful,
really
and
really good.
So all of these things are just so crucial to changing our vibrations, and they're all great, and I want to do all of them. But I know that what I do is I go, there's so much, and I can't concentrate, and so I end up not doing any of it.
Right.
So I'm going to commit to trying to do the Matt Kahn suggestion.
So what's his philosophy?
Well, it is literally just to practice love, and to say it as well. Like I could start off the practice by just going, I love you, Michael.
How do you feel? How does that make you feel?
And then you have to say it back to me.
I love you, Felicity.
I feel really weird.
Why do you feel weird? I think this is important.
No, it's nice.
Report back what
I feel vulnerable.
Okay.
Yeah, and also
vulnerability is good though.
Vulnerability is great, and it's a really, really important part of life that is ignored.
So say it again. Keep calm. Keep still.
Yeah.
And just see if you can
do it without completely falling apart. Okay. I love you, Michael.
I love you, Felicity. Now look at me and take it, receive it. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I love you, Felicity. Okay. Just take it. There you go. We can finish there.
Yeah, no, that was nice. Okay, so the first discussion went really well. Michael and I are so in tune with each other, which is just great.
It felt like sort of, connecting with someone who is of a similar mindset.
I feel that our conversations will spiral.
There is a revolution happening, a spiritual and emotional revolution, and more people out in the world are beginning to connect with that sort of stuff, and that's very exciting, so I'm pleased about that.
The programme will show us where to go.